Breaking news begins the show tonight on NEA Report on Tuesday, May 15th, 2018, when sheriff's fees were heard in Craighead County Circuit Court today, and a repayment plan decided that will be bringing back the money to those who paid that weren't supposed to. We'll tell you who that may be and how much they'll be getting back coming up. Plus, the $1,000 ink pen debate seemingly settled last night at, or to be specific, somewhat after the Craighead County Quorum Court meeting. Also at that meeting, a JP seat declared vacant. We'll tell you about that, plus show you some feeds from Abilities Unlimited, and storms are possible all throughout the week, just not certain. However, it was a certainty on this day 50 years ago that a massive tornado outbreak took the lives of many across the United States, including in Jonesboro. We'll talk about that as breaking news begins the show on NEA Report. Breaking news begins the day on NEA Report as a verdict and a decision has come down in the case of Christopher Miles against Craighead County. We were waiting on that as we were going into the show, and late breaking this afternoon, an order issued on a proposed plan to distribute the monies for those who were affected by what have been determined to be illegal exaction fees. Included on the screen right there are two of those fees, the two that were specifically the subject of this, the sheriff's fees and the lower court costs, sometimes called an appeal fee, which were fees that were not authorized by any law. In other words, they were illegally being charged to folks who are the potential claimants of this while they went through the process, the justice process in Craighead County. The court has ruled that it is to be issued to all potential claimants with certain information contained in the notice that was issued, and also to be placed in a newspaper for 3 days. The plan is stated as follows. The defendants have to provide Attorney Mark Reese with the addresses they have on file for all the individuals who made a payment referred to as a sheriff's fee or a lower court cost fee. That has to be provided from the date the complaint was filed to the present. That would be between December of 2012 and June of 2016, although the way that's worded, it would make it sound like it's up to the present. It says the defendants will provide said addresses and the amounts paid by June 1st, 2018. Once the plaintiff's counsel, that's Attorney Mark Reese, has provided the address and the amounts paid, it says by August 3rd, Mark Reese is going to send out the notice attached with this order to all the individuals disclosed by the defendants. They're going to then have approximately 60 days to complete the claim for a refund for these fees. The fees are for each individual. The sheriff's fee was like $83, and the other fee was about $100 and something. So you're talking about maybe $200 total. It says that Mark Reese is going to put notice in the Jonesboro Sun August 6th, August 9th, and August 13th, informing the claim. It says the claimants, as stated below, and then of course it goes on to discuss the specific needs for submitting the claim to Reese Law Firm, which is mailable to 2110 East Matthews in Jonesboro. It's included in there will, for instance, be name, address, cell phone number, case number, how much you paid in circuit court costs, how much the date that you paid that, any receipts, the date that you paid lower court costs, and how much was paid in the date of the that with the receipts. So that was what was being decided this afternoon in court. It was late breaking, and we've been waiting on a decision to come down in this. It all stems from what began back in 2012. It was a case filed by Mark Reese on behalf of Christopher Miles over certain fees that Reese thought, and obviously we're seeing now correctly so, were illegal exaction fees, fees that there was no law providing for there to be the collection of. The sheriff's fees, as I mentioned, were one of those fees. The other fee was a fee that literally, if you appealed your verdict that was against you, it penalized you for appealing. I mean, you can't do that kind of stuff, right? But this was going on for years, and nobody ever spoke up about it until Mark Reese saw it and said, wait a second, these two things on here, the two that you're looking at, sheriff's cost, lower court costs, don't make much sense. he filed the lawsuit, and on behalf of Christopher Miles and all similarly situated persons, well, Reese won. And today he ended up winning another big battle in the form of the repayment plan, which was where the county had stuck its heels in the ground as of last year. They lost this whole thing last year, and last June they fought it, then found other ways to fight it, and, well, it didn't really help much. It just prolonged the inevitable. It actually I'm presuming they stopped collecting these fees in June of 2016, at least of June 2017, last year, whenever the verdict was issued, the ruling, I should say, not verdict. But now it does appear that there has been a plan approved, and soon enough, the folks that paid those fees they weren't supposed to pay will have an option to get that back. It looks like that's going to start happening between August and October. What will most likely be the final chapter in the ink pen debacle, as it may be called, I guess, took place last night. It was written last night at the Craighead County Quorum Court meeting. In fact, if you watched the meeting live last night as a service provided by Craighead County Clerk Kate Holliday, you wouldn't even have seen this particular discussion take place. Although the breakneck speed sometimes of which the meeting is conducted seems to be a little bit too fast for some. It was actually so fast that Circuit Clerk Candace Edwards didn't even get to bring up the topic whenever she had wanted to until that they had adjourned into specific committees. But it was that purchase of $1,000 in personalized ink pens, 1,500 ink pens, by the way, that was approved last night after it was denied, which was after it was approved. That's according to what Circuit Clerk Candace Edwards tells us. She said that, if you recall, that Hill had actually approved the purchase before he turned around and said no. That's according to her, which he's now reversed and said yes on. It's a little bit confusing. We know. But sometimes the he said or she said stuff kind of gets that way. Nonetheless, it looks like that those ink pens are now being paid for, and that nobody's on the hook for $1,000 in ink. So you're looking at video right there sent along to us from our friends at Abilities Unlimited, and it shows 3 suspects making off with 3, well, more than 3, I guess we should say, items. Three handfuls, it looks like, at the very least, for each person, and they're going back and forth, loading and adding more to it. There was a futon, a washer and dryer, golf clubs. We see actually that dolly even that he's loading up there. That was also one of the items that was taken. This was all what took place on Mother's Day. If you can imagine that, Mother's Day. Yeah, that's what happened. It was the drop-off center. And we're going to zoom in so you get a better look at this young lady right here. Although I say she's young, I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's not. But these are all suspects that were thought to have stolen from Abilities Unlimited there during this Mother's Day incident that you're taking a look at on the screen right there. But before we even had a chance to ask for help identifying the suspects, evidently the public went to work and took care of it for us. And yes, according to Abilities Unlimited, our 3 heroes right here, these 3 treasures have already been identified. Nonetheless, it never pays to steal, especially from the place that has security cameras well documented to be, you know, used by the media for stories and stuff. Let's go ahead and get the 3rd guy on camera too. Hello. We'll get you their names just as soon as we get them from Jonesboro Police. So this is a moment from last night's Craighead County Quorum Court meeting. As you could see, the Justice of the Peace voting unanimously. They were voting to declare a vacancy for the District 1 seat that had been previously held by J.P. Ken Stacks, who has not attended for several months, actually just about a year due to illness. We understand the seat was declared vacant. In a unanimous vote last night, it has, or I guess I should say is being referred to the governor's office for an appointment to be made for an interim replacement.
I guess Justice Martin can...
50 years ago, storms broke out across the entire United States, including in Jonesboro. That's a photo of a tornado from that specific outbreak, although not specifically in Jonesboro. We'll tell you where that tornado was, we'll tell you what happened in Jonesboro, and we'll walk through the history of it all. That's coming up on NEA Report.
What a great day it is in Craighead County. You know, we got a very important election coming up, May 22nd. You'll get to choose your new judge. I hope and pray that you look at the issues at hand. This is a very, very important election. This will be the first four-year term for your county judge. We're facing many, many issues, from school safety to road safety to drainage. We have plans in place. I'm coming in with a strong team of people with boots on the ground. We're going to make this a better Craighead County. We're going to be open and transparent. This is your office. It's always going to be an open door policy. And you know, I'm happy to announce I've got a team of volunteers. It's going to be called the Craighead County Green Team. We're going to clean up the ditches and roadways in Craighead County. With the resources that we have on hand, you're not going to see illegal dump sites and things like that. We're going to be proactive. We're going to make this a better Craighead County. My name is Jeff Presley, and I approve this message.
Specializing in unloading contents and packet moves, fully insured and licensed, The Moving Company is the only company to call for your next move. The Moving Company's award-winning team will quickly, safely, and efficiently move your belongings where you need them, whether it's across town or across the country. The Moving Company. Equipped with 2 full-size moving trucks and all the supplies and tools for any move, the Moving Company is prepared for the toughest jobs to the most gentle. To book your next move, give us a call at 882-2842 or send us a message to our Facebook page by searching The Moving Company.
Haley Norris, Realtor.
No.
Should I make my hair go like this? Whether you need to buy, sell, or lease. Haley, can I use my hands? Or is that, where are my hands? Where do they go?
Just say
Haley.
Just like Haley.
Whether you need my expertise. Haley Norris, Realtor. Or even do a commercial lease. Haley Norris, Realtor. Should I say Remax Real Estate Center or not? Is that too salesy?
No, that's good.
My average days on market is just 50 days. You need my expertise. And that means I'm putting more money back in your pocket.
Now time for us to take a look at your New Wave Wireless weather forecast, home of the $49 iPhone screen repair. We are watching for a chance for showers and thunderstorms for pretty much every night for the rest of the week tonight, but it's not exactly a big chance. In fact, it's a slight chance. A 20% chance for showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, bumped up to a 30% chance tonight, with mostly cloudy skies, a low down to 69. Tomorrow, a 30% shot at showers and thunderstorms, a high near 86, with mostly cloudy skies otherwise. Looks like for your Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 87 and a 30% chance for showers and thunderstorms. Friday, same story as well, high near 88, and then Saturday, a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms, but otherwise sunny skies and a high near 91. It is right now in Jonesboro 94 degrees with a few clouds. There are a few possibilities, like we said, for those showers and thunderstorms to pop up out and about out there. We are seeing a couple of showers. It looks like 1 or 2 popping up in Greene County this afternoon, but I'm not seeing anything anywhere near severe activity on the radar right now. There's a lot of talk today about May 15th, 1968. We're taking a trip back in time on NEA Report to when 45 people in Arkansas were killed and 72 across the United States. Over 1,200 injured in a tornado outbreak that went from the afternoon hours of May 15th into the evening hours and into the early morning hours of May 16th. A lot of the times you'll hear about these storms that broke out just from the Arkansas perspective. I want to walk you through a little bit of a broader look at them and actually take a look at the tornadoes as they broke out, so to speak, across the United States. It all started in the afternoon hours, May 15th, 1968. And the first tornado, you might not have guessed this, it took place in Minnesota, 3:28 p.m. Central Time. And over the next 3 hours, 18 tornadoes were reported across Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Minnesota, and Missouri. 2 F5 tornadoes hit the central and eastern parts of Iowa about 45 minutes apart. Those 2 tornadoes by themselves caused 18 fatalities and 618 injuries. The first F5 tornado moved through 5 counties and 65 miles of damage. It affected Charles City, it says, just before 5 p.m., destroying much of that area. It says $30 million in damage was caused. 13 people killed, 462 others injured in the tornado that we're talking about right there. I want you to take a look on your screen. You can actually see the swirls in the field. That is an ancient photo. We're talking about a 50-year-old aerial photo taken by the National Weather Service. You can actually see the way that the tornado swirled around the field, around the top where the red bar is. You can actually see some of the debris that was caused by that tornado. The tornadoes continued into the late evening hours and early morning hours of May 16th. Arkansas itself became part of this. As a matter of fact, it says one of the tornadoes touched down west of Jonesboro before hitting Craighead County itself at about 10 p.m. on May 15th. The tornado caught most residents by surprise. It says since most of the warning systems failed, that tornado, 34 people died from. 1 more person was killed in Jackson County. It's the deadliest tornado in Arkansas since an F4 tornado affected White County on March 21st, 1952 that killed 50 people. By the way, it says that same city, Jonesboro, was hit by another destructive tornado 5 years later, killing at least 3, injuring 250 others, leaving much more destruction throughout the city than the 1968 event we're talking about right now. Those damage figures in 1973, $62 million. Another tornado, an F4, just west of Jonesboro, killed 7 in Oil Trough in Independence County, another 3 killed in Baxter County. The activity ceased along the Deep South, it says, when the final tornadoes touched down across the metropolitan Memphis area and northern Mississippi, as well as the Fort Wayne, Indiana areas. And these are a list of the tornadoes right now. They're actually sorted based on color. You can guess whenever we hit the red ones, we're talking about the more severe ones. This is at about 4:10, May 15th, an F5 tornado. It struck down in Indiana. It says 13 people killed, 462 injured. It's extremely difficult to imagine the kind of devastation that would have been caused by that. But I'm scrolling down through this because I want to reach the point where the Arkansas tornadoes began. In a way, I'm kind of recreating what it would be like for us to be sitting here and to actually be covering this tornado outbreak. It's kind of scary to imagine because it was at 1930 military time, which would be 7:30 p.m. Our time. You can see the indicator over here on the left. Baxter County and Mountain Home, where an F3 tornado killed 3 people, injured 25. 20 residences, it says, were completely destroyed. 50 damaged, 12 trailers destroyed, 15 sustained major damage. There was major damage to 4 businesses. Boats on Lake Norfolk were damaged. Several resorts and boat docks. It actually says box, but I meant to say docks. Storm there struck at approximately 6:30 p.m. 3 miles north of Mountain Home and moved east across the lake, north of 62 and 101. It says striking the east shore near Henderson. The funnel was seen and heard in the vicinity by several. In Viola and Salem, an F1 was reported about 45 minutes after that. Then continuing on, it would be shortly before the 10 o'clock hour began. It's 9:36 p.m. on May 15th, 1968. And that's when, in Independence County, an Oil Trough, an F4 tornado struck down. They're estimated to be, and you can actually see this right here, it's estimated that between 1/2 and 2/3 of the town was destroyed, just wiped off the map, destroyed. not a big community, right? Oil trough, but nonetheless, it says few houses escape damage. Roof and wall damage to the high school. Implement company destroyed. 60 people were in the Church of Christ, it says, when the church building exploded with tornado contact. Only one was injured in that. Dozens or more cars damaged. The post office and grocery store destroyed. Almost $750,000 worth of damage. The tornado moved west, southwest to east, northeast. That specific system, if we're talking about being in Independence County, can you imagine it, and where would it be headed if it's moving east, northeast? Well, at 9:45, we may have an answer, because it was Jackson, Craighead, and Mississippi counties, Tuckerman, Jonesboro, Manila, to label the city specifically. But Jonesboro itself seemed to be the target of this specific tornado. An F4 that killed 35 people and injured 364. If you wonder why we have these tornado sirens in the town and why that we test them every week and why severe weather is so important to us here, it's so that this never happens again. And looking back at the context, I actually did a little bit of research. And what's insane is there were not even tornadoes thought to be taking place that night. Can you imagine that? We were expecting severe storms. We were not expecting tornadoes, and that had not been forecasted. It's incredible to imagine that. 6 houses destroyed, 15 partially damaged, some businesses in the south end of Tuckerman. That's how Tuckerman fared. Then the tornado moved about 30 miles per hour as it moved from Tuckerman to Jonesboro. It touched down outside of Valley View, those flat fields over there in that area, followed Highway 39 into Jonesboro, smashed into Fairview and Nettleton, and continued into Needham. Nettleton High School almost completely destroyed. At least 7 cars on one stretch of the highway were hurled onto a nearby railway. Some cars were wrapped around trees, killing the occupants. 164 homes in Jonesboro were destroyed. Crops, mostly cotton, damaged with heavy rain accompanying the tornado. The tornado was not on the ground between Jonesboro and Manila, but a severe thunderstorm produced some minor wind in Craighead County, but it touched down again in Manila, where it destroyed the downtown area. 3 blocks of buildings, 12 buildings totally destroyed out of that specific tornado. Meanwhile, this storm system is going crazy. It's 9:50. Butler County sees an F2 fall down out of the sky, injuring 1 person, destroying 2. That's, of course, in the Boot Heel. Dunklin County, it looks like 10:20, sees an F1 come down. Most of the tornadoes at this point that come down and that are reported are in Mississippi, in Shelby County, and DeSoto County, in different areas that would be across the Mississippi River. And things settled down after that. But it was this time in Jonesboro where we saw the worst of it. And that's why when severe weather breaks out, we kind of always remember that Northeast Arkansas is at the tail end of Tornado Alley. And this case, just like a few years afterwards, and some other cases in history, are evidence as to why severe weather is most important for us to cover here in the media and our other outlets across town, like the TV stations, the newspaper, the radio stations. They all try to give attention to this type of stuff. And this specific case in history is proof of why it can be a life or death matter when severe weather breaks out. 3:38 in Jonesboro. I want to give you an idea of what severe weather could do this week. It's not the biggest likelihood, but it is a possibility that exists for us. We do want to let you know a 20% shot at showers and thunderstorms goes up to a 30% shot tonight. In fact, we're actually seeing a few showers and thunderstorms popping up across Northeast Arkansas right now. I kind of spoke a little too soon earlier. I said I didn't see any that looked too severe, but then just as we were kind of getting the show started right here, take a look. Greene County seeing some, Lawrence and Jackson County seeing some too. So there could be some a little bit west of Jonesboro right now. Maybe we will see a few more showers and thunderstorms than we were expecting. That possibility exists every day and every night for the rest of the week. A slight chance for those. But otherwise, it's going to be about 86, 87, 88 in the middle of the day. and that's what you've got to look forward to between a few clouds tomorrow and sunny skies by the time Friday rolls around, Friday and Saturday. Those clouds that are in the forecast, a little bit deceptive. Now, you're up to date on NEA Report. Thanks so very much for joining us tonight. Don't forget to like and follow and subscribe across all forms of social media. We are on the YouTube. We're also on Facebook. You can find us on there, which you're probably watching this live on. We are at NEA Report, and on Twitter as well. You can follow us at NEA News. I'm Stan Morris, and now you're up to date.